right, Borg, you monster. I've had a thought. I think I might have up here somewhere something that would be very interesting to look at, which I forgot all about. I wouldn't describe it as a treat, but you won't believe it. If I can find this, it'll be well worth it. I don't want to tell you what it is. I'd rather surprise you. My fear is, Borg, that it's become lost in the clear-up, in Helen's clear-up. The thing we're talking about is something you could very easily think to just throw away. So we hope that's not the case. I'm going to lean in here, put the light on. Electricity, we love it. We absolutely love it, Borg. No, I've got all hot and bothered. That's for no reason now. I've saved these things for almost precisely 20 years. That's a clue for you. For fuck's sake. Okay. Hold on a moment. I think I've got it. Haha. Yes. Now then, right, let's have a look. That's what we were looking for, Borg. That is a bag full of newspapers. Look. The day that changed the world, yes. All this business being rehashed reminded me that on the 12th of September, the following day, I went to get all the newspapers and, well, I just kept them. You know, normally, Borg, you might not even know what the hell this is, a newspaper, but this is... We still do use these now, but certainly in the past it was a major source of news information disseminated to us. This was how it would be done. This is way before the internet took over. So, my God. So you see what I mean? It's an outrageous sort of mind-boggling event, and that's before you even consider it very deeply, just by looking aesthetically. You know, if all the information you got was that's already enough. But with all this, I guess that's some of the people that died. I mean, looking at them now, it's a bit weird actually, Borg. It's more strange just to look at old newspapers. I wonder what's on the back. Hold on a sec, it's being hailed again. Hi there. I haven't, no. I sent her an email. But I tell you what, can I call you back in a little while? I'm in the middle of something here. Okay, very good. Bye bye. That's my mother. Incidentally, Borg, she happened to be in an aeroplane on the day this happened. Luckily, they were so close to landing, you know, she wasn't affected, but such was the panic that the sky is just emptied. Just to confirm, you know, I presume you've found out all about it, but the method used was aeroplanes driven into various buildings. Once that started, you know, I think there were 3 or 4. So I suppose people thought, well, there could be hundreds. Anyway, it's ridiculous actually, Bob. There's no point. You see, already on the 13th of September, you get the good versus evil ideas, which at the time everyone was well up for, I think. But, watching another program about all this yesterday, it was rather interesting because it covered I think, a vote in Congress in America. They wanted to go to war, but they had some trouble legally because it wasn't a country that was you know, going to be at war. It was a terrorist group, so I think they had to go to a vote to get everyone to agree to a new policy or something, a change that would allow them to attack a terrorist group. And everyone was well into that, except for one woman who was strong enough to say, hold on, I think it's a bit broad here to be able to say that America can just attack everybody. And she was called a traitor for that and such like. But indeed, that's how it turned out. I think I mentioned yesterday this very real tragedy, a very real terror attack, was eventually used, you know, used as justification for all sorts of other things that weren't really connected. So that's with the 20 years, 20 years to look back on it. It's amazing. They still got the weather, you know. Nice summary of the weather, and then, you know, there's the Grim Reaper. I've often marvelled at that. It's such, no matter what terror they present, there's always still the sport and the weather. See, there they are, Borg, you know, that's them, and there, before and after. And there's the sport, look. Scott's ease lion's pain for Gregor. You know, it's very interesting, Borg, to look back on, and I was imagining you might be interested. What is this? That's not connected. Well, it's extraordinary. What's that? The 14th. So I remember that at the time there was at least a couple of weeks of just poring over images and accounts of what was going on. And I must confess, I was glued to it, you know. I don't think it was anything other than being sort of almost perving at you know, is it sublime? Can you even say that? It's too positive, isn't it? The terror of it, Borg. Terrorism, it's meant to not just kill everybody, but it's meant to terrify those who watch it from afar. And I was in that sort of state, I suppose, Borg, a little bit. A girlfriend at the time, not so. On the very day it happened, she was cool as a cucumber, seemingly not surprised, and with a state of mind rather disturbingly, she was communicating to me how she's sort of not at all surprised that this has happened, almost as if they deserved it. Which at the time, I was amazed at her state of mind. She was very involved in Amnesty International, and for years and years had written letters and been involved in campaigns across the world where there is places with daily catastrophes. And I guess that's what was on her mind. And a lot of these places would point the finger at America in some respects. And perhaps that influenced her. But I was amazed by that. She was unshakable. In a way, it was quite impressive, and it had the effect of calming us down, Borg. Soon after this, the scrap metal was sold to China, which is no great surprise, it's just interesting. Here we go again, look. These poor people were above where the plane hit, and they ended up jumping out. That's the situation there, Borg. So, you know what, Borg, I think it's time we stop looking at this. I think we should go out and do some sketches before we get, too sickened. Yeah, we better stop. There you go. I mean, it's of interest to us at this time, but perhaps for you, newspapers. I mean, for 100 years since the printing press, this is how we've rolled, Borg. And you will have nothing to do with this at all, I think. Look what we've pulled out there, Borg. That is one of our first attempts. That's PC6, so 2016 or something. First attempts at the sensations, the patchy business. And we've never been as disciplined as this since. But you can see it's not been pushed that far, but we really haven't broken at all. But one has to have some fun. That wasn't fun. That was hard. But from a distance, it comes together. No, never mind that. We've got the sketchbook here, and we're going to go out and going to go round Bergby. We haven't been round the environ for many weeks. We've only been in the field. That being said, we require some transport. Now, these are bicycles, which I maintain will be around when you're around. I think these will stay. Cars will be long gone. Now what I'm going to try and do, yes, that's it, look, I'm able to secure the sketch pad with this, so hopefully that'll stay. Got the pencil, and as simple as that, we'll be off. Right, we're away, Borg. There's the back field. I'll have to get on there before he ploughs it. Here you can see everything's turning a little orangey yellow, which, as we've said, is good. It's good for us. And all of this would be good, particularly with the patient approach. But this is still very much our little manor, so we're going to cycle on and see what's round and about. I've had to stop already. I've seen something in the distance there between the trees. There appear to be hay balls, which is going to be something to show you for sure. Whether or not it will be a subject, I don't know. The reason for that is at any moment the farmer might take them away. Anyway, let's make that our destination. It's probably a 5-minute bike ride around the field. There's a fucking boat, Borg, look. It's still there. That'll be a good subject. Look, there you go. Hay balls. Now that is the harvest. That's what the part of the growth the farmer wants to keep, and that he'll feed that to animals like that. It's a horse. But he certainly won't hang around in moving them. And he's already ploughed that part, so it's all change. If you see back there, see the way they lie in the field like that, dotted around. It's a nice little subject, that, but as I say, not for the patient method. We're going to still go around the corner to see what's. Look at these horses on the way past. What do you make of them? Just in front of them there's that solar energy source. Right, I think it's wise to get off the bike. We're out of breath because it's a bit of a hill. And well, I think we'll have a little walk. So the machine that the farmer drives, first of all it cuts down all the grass and leaves it in rows on the field, which he will then collect in a special machine that rolls it up like that. When it's rolled up like that, they take it back and store in order to feed their cows and horses. So all of this is designed, all done to feed the animals. And I suppose it's that fact, you know, imagine it multiplied across the world. It's what gets people hot and bothered about vegetarianism and veganism. Pointing out the extreme amount of energy and manufacturing that goes into burgers and that. Anyway, the other thing we mustn't forget, Borg in the autumn is these rowan trees. I think that's what they are. This tree, whatever it is, it produces these red berries, which are an amazing subject. I'd love to have a go at it, but it's not quite what we're doing at the moment. But needless to say, green and red goes together, and it would be a lovely thing to do with the old one rush method. But we, as we've said, we tend to not do that in the autumn, and maybe that's a failing. Well, here they are. This is what we saw through the trees, and he stored them here ready to collect. But it's a bit too close to the other humans in the area to imagine doing a study. We're not in the mood for that. But there you can see them. He used to park them over by our house, but I'm 100% sure he's stopped that because my children play on them. You tend to get that sort of thing. They don't do any damage, but you know, it's something that you can imagine making the farmer think. And you know, I can understand that. I've just announced that I don't want any part of any of the people around here, so I can't talk. But maybe we can bring the children over here. So what they'll do, Borg, is hop jump from one to the other, all the way along. And believe me, that would be a lot of fun. We were over there a minute ago. Just there, that metal creature, that's the plough. One of the ploughs that is going to be attached to the tractor vehicle, pulled over the field, and that turns over the soil. That's done to get the soil ready to be planted again next year after the frozen winter. But for us, we like the soil. We do like the soil as a subject. But it's important to try and get, if we can, some of these views of the stalks. This view isn't perhaps great for some patterns, I think. And when you go close in, it's quite a treat, a feast of colours. There it is though. There's no doubt, Borg, that we've been a bit sort of sidetracked by this September the 11th business. It's kind of taken over our thoughts, not just thinking again about the whole the day, but now thinking about what's happened since, and then of course how that fits into our orientation, because it's a bit of the puzzle. When you're looking for orientation, you've got to find the bits of the puzzle, and it is a bit, we completely forgot about it, quite frankly. These ants, ape shit. I haven't hit them or anything. This is just how they do it. I think in the sun. Look at that. I better get out of here before they carry me off. There's a question for you, Borg. How many ants would it take to carry me away? Look at that. That one's got that green thing. Look. That's an insect. They're carrying that huge green insect. If we had the data, Borg, we'd follow that all the way. as I say, we've come out here, we haven't done any drawing, it's a nice day. I think we obviously just needed to get our mind off the Twin Towers. And as well as that, I'm not really seeing anything that's going to work for us really, and I'm not in the mood to practice. I think we're better off just thinking about our new area down at the nature reserve and doing a few still lifes at home. And if this was a few months earlier, or rather a few weeks earlier, we'd be out doing those hay balls, but as we've explained, the season's sort of turned, hasn't it? It's turned early. Anyway, there's our trusty bike. Okay, let's get back. You see that between the trees there, boy? That's where we just were. Now we're over here. Interesting. We're going to make one more stop into our back field because it seems like that's the best place to catch the storks, the effect of the storks. So we'll turn you back on over there. Right, so here we go in. Now it's okay to walk all over this because the crop's been taken. So you see, hopefully the colour you're seeing is similar. We've got a kind of straw yellow stalks and a kind of violet soil. It's getting all orangey there, a bit of green coming through, and then some deep red for these plants. What we were taking on the Borg is the wheels of the machinery, and that's what we'll be looking for. We've done that a lot. We've never tried it with the patient approach. It's very much a Van Gogh style subject. You know, a close-up of nature, like irises or numerous views of his of wheat or blossoms. But I've never tried it with our fledgling little Cézannean method. And I just wonder how it would turn out, really, Borg. Another possible subject. Again, we have tackled all these before because the seasons just repeat. But it's a good subject nonetheless. He's ploughed this road section. The part of the ploughed field and some stalks is a rather good subject also. I believe we did one at the beginning of the Dignity Scholarship, which rather unashamedly was meant to symbolise the political left and right, but such was our state of mind at the time. I don't think we'd be doing that again, although going down to those trees, that could be a go at Borg. Could be. Anyway, we've actually been down here when it was all grown up, so there's no point taking you down. And in fact, there's not much point doing a sketch of this sort of thing. You would pretty much turn up and look anywhere. You know, there, you know, and start painting. So I think we'll leave it. In fact, excuse me, Borg, I'm just going to turn you to the side. That sort of thing could be on. trees in the background, and perhaps even more if I sit down like this. That's already looking like a bit of a nice group. Back over with you. Anyway, that's taken our mind a little bit off the disturbing events of 20 years ago.